Welcome to Print That. I'm Joe, and this last week work actually kept me a little busy. If I wasn't out on site on Sunday, I was up early Monday and out late Wednesday or Tuesday and Wednesday, and really kept me away from doing a whole lot of 3D printing related things. But I still had time to get a few things done. Spent some time with the wife, played some games online, but all in all, it was productive. So, as of right now, I am working on a print. It is kind of a super secret print that I will be mailing out this week. It's actually one of the biggest prints that I've done. And last night I had an interesting issue. Well, it's a 12-hour, 44-minute print, and right about the 89-90% mark, for one reason or another, I had my x-axis shifted. And it wasn't a big deal, maybe an eighth of an inch, but still enough to make it noticeable, and it wasn't a product that I would want to send out to somebody, so I had to find out what was going on. This is being printed on my Prusa i3, so one of the first things I decided to check is my belt tensioning off at all? And the bite clip for that x-axis, did that manage to get loose? And neither one of those was the issue. So I dove in a little bit further and found out that the x-axis's belt tensioner pulley, one of the bearings in there was failing and was not allowing that pulley to roll as freely as it should. So it was binding up. Thankfully, I had a couple extra bearings. I just replaced both of them, and I started the print again. Right now, it's just over 9.5 hours into the print, so I should have that done here in a couple hours, and I'm expecting it to look really good. And while I probably won't be able to mail it out today, here Monday, I'm going to kick that thing out the door, and with any luck, it'll be at its destination by Friday. One thing to learn from this is if you have a weird anomaly like that, and everything seems to be okay, dig in and check the little things. Bearings are a big deal. They actually do quite a bit for your printer, and the smaller bearings, they tend to wear out pretty quickly depending upon how much printing you're doing. My Prusa's had quite a few hours that I have put through it with prints, and it just happened that bearing failed at the most inopportune moment. The print was looking great beyond that, and when it shifted, I knew something had to be screwy. Now, if you hear a little extra background noise today, I am sitting here with my two dogs, Cole and Cinder, and they're chewing on some bones, being good puppies. Forgive the extra noise. They need to have a little dad time. Other things that went on this week, I wound up downloading and installing a copy of Autodesk Fusion 360. It's their new 3D modeling software. Unlike AutoCAD, which is more 2D focused, Fusion 360, it's a new product that they're offering at no cost to hobbyists, educators, students. And while the no-cost price tag may fool some, don't let it deter you from the fact that they have invested about $1 billion into this. At least that's the figure that I was given when a person from Fusion 360 reached out and called me here the other day. Had a pleasant 20-minute conversation with the gentleman over the phone. He told me a little bit about the product, wanted to know what I was using it for. He reiterated that they have a whole lot of free utilities, tutorials, and things like that online, and will be sending me links with that stuff, which when I get those, I'll go ahead and post them to the website. But here in the next day or two, I want to really dive in to that piece of software, kind of go through some of the tutorials, get to learn how Fusion 360 works, and really compare that to SketchUp, which has generally been my design software of choice. Now, the thing that I'm going to be doing in Fusion 360 is a whole new design. It's not going to be taking one of my models and kind of modifying it to make it do something a little different. I want to make something from the ground up. So with Fusion 360, I'm going to create a little tool holder for the Me Creator 2. Have little spots for your feeler gauges, your screwdrivers, your hobby knife, and other miscellaneous things. So makes it kind of a handy little place just to kind of store all of your items. That way, when you do need something, they're nearby. You don't have to go digging through a drawer or find out where the heck you left it the last time you used it. In addition to that, I will be doing some design within SketchUp here. I'm hoping today. It's just a modification to a thing that I already did, and it's going to be adapting it for a GoPro mount. I have the necessary files ready. It's just I need to combine them together, get them compiled, figure out how I want it, the model to lay when it prints, and then give it a run. I should, like I said, I should have that done hopefully later today. Give it a try and get it posted sometime during the week. And the last thing I want to cover here real quick is mention that we have some Amazon affiliate links on our website. I noticed here last night, I was going through just checking the site out, making sure everything was working the way it was supposed to, and I noticed that none of the links were showing up. Come to find out, my ad blocking software was preventing that from happening. Evidently, AdBlock Plus thinks those are advertisements, which I guess they kind of are, but I mean, we are advertising links to products on Amazon, which we do get a little bit of revenue for, but they're not ads in like the traditional pop-up, flashy ad sense. So if you're looking at buying anything from the Amazon affiliates links off our website, please disable the ad blocking software if you're not seeing any of those products and reload the page. We do appreciate anything that has been purchased from us already. As far as things in the news goes, found some really interesting articles this week. One really good one about 3D printing, some about gaming, and other miscellaneous stuff. The first one, it's an online guide that lays out the legal do's and don'ts of 3D printing. Now, for those who have scoured the internet for a comprehensive set of regulations and tips for 3D design and 3D printing, but have consistently come up short, a recently launched website may be just the thing you were looking for. The website, called 3D Printing Info, Everything You Need to Get Started in 3D Printing, is the product of extensive research compiled by a team of staff from the University of Melbourne, and its purpose is to essentially guide new 3D printing users and aspiring makers through the rights and responsibilities that surround the additive manufacturing technologies. The project was led by Dr. Luke Hemsbergen and Dr. Robbie Fordyce, who were driven by the goal of offering consumers and makers a comprehensive and accessible guide to both take advantage of 3D printing technologies and its potential and keep work and intellectual property safe. The online guide consists of a number of different sections, which include a scorecard to help users determine which 3D printing website is best suited for them and their needs, a rights and responsibilities section which lays out privacy, copyright, patent, and other safety information relevant to 3D printing, a step-by-step guide to learning to 3D print, as well as a resource section to facilitate further education about 3D printing technologies. With their recently launched website, the Australian-based team of researchers are hoping to offer users and interested parties a free and easy-to-use platform to learn more about 3D printing services, laws and regulations surrounding the technology, and where to find more in-depth information. This guide is something that could be potentially quite useful, especially if you're looking at designing your own items, marketing those items, and selling them. It gives a good insight as to where to get started. I know some of the things that I have made here recently. Made a wall mount for a MikroTik 2011 router. While I have considered offering the designs up to the Latvian company, I still think I'm going to just offer it for free. This is something that I'm doing as a hobby. I'm not looking at mass producing anything. I only have a couple of 3D printers. Probably will have one or two more here on the way here soon. But past that, like I said, this is just a hobby for me. One day I might look at turning this into a business, but that's not my goal. Your goal may be a little bit different, and I would recommend checking this guide out to get familiar with some of these laws and other things. On to other news. Here, there's been a couple of times in the past where I have made comment that I have played tabletop role-playing games. And while it's been a few years since I've done that, one name really sticks out, and that's Gary Gygax. Gary Gygax is one of those names that belongs alongside George Lucas and Gene Roddenberry as storytellers whose influence reaches around the globe and through generations. Well, here on the 27th, which would have been Gary Gygax's 78th birthday, Tom DeSanto has been tapped by the estate of the Dungeons & Dragons co-creator to adapt the prolific game designer's other stories to film, TV, and media. DeSanto, who considers himself a longtime gamer and comic book fan, is credited with being the producer who hired Bryan Singer to direct the first X-Men movie and help Bryan Singer develop the film's story. He is also credited as a producer on all four of the Transformer films. While Dungeons & Dragons itself is now owned by Hasbro, coincidentally the owners of the Transformers franchise, D&D is presumably not included in the deal with the Gygax estate. I know they've tried to make a couple of Dungeons & Dragons movies here in the last decade, and those have all turned out horrible. I don't think the world is ready for another Dungeons & Dragons movie, but Gary Gygax at least created several other genres, and bringing those to life will be interesting to see. I really am curious to see what Tom DeSanto does with these things and how they turn out. I know the X-Men movie, the first one, turned out really good, and the story throughout the X-Men series has been great. So I kind of want to see, like I said, what he does with this new material. And continuing on about things we've talked about in the past, we spoke a while back about Dangerous Golf, which was the first team from Three Fields Entertainment, and it was clearly Burnout influenced. Burnout being a racing game, the company Criterion was shut down, and several of the people have moved into Three Fields Entertainment. Well, the Dangerous Golf was a reimagining of the series' fan favorite Crash Mode, rebuilt as an explosive indoor sport. Here recently, Alex Ward, Burnout director, announced news via his Twitter account on the 27th that they would be creating a new driving game. Now, Ward, along with fellow Criterion alumni Fiona Sperry, work at Three Fields Entertainment. While whatever Three Fields Entertainment builds next will not be able to have the Burnout name because it is owned by EA, the team behind it will be able to create a spiritual successor to the game like no one else will be able to do, because they created that game. I'm very excited to see what comes out of these guys, and I want to see just exactly how they take that and bring it up to the next level. The last Burnout game was Burnout Paradise. It was released in 2008. I didn't really care much for Burnout Paradise. I know a lot of other people did, but I really want to see something that's modernized, reimagined, and still has that same fun and destructive quality that Burnout has. In other gaming news, developer Upheava has taken the exceptionally powerful StarCraft 2 editor and decided to build a StarCraft 2 version of WoW. Raising nearly $90,000 on Kickstarter in 2013, they finally entered an open beta phase with an accompanying Indiegogo campaign to keep the project running. Getting into the beta doesn't even require you to buy a copy of StarCraft 2 to play, since the free starter edition grants you access to custom maps. Just launch either your own version of StarCraft 2 or download the starter edition and head into the arcade and search for StarCraft Universe. While it does play like an MMO, there's currently no system for having an extreme number of players in-game at once, so your characters will be saved between sessions with different parties. This makes StarCraft Universe a little closer to Diablo than WoW in that respect. While there is only a total of 4 maps, 3 of which operate as a tutorial, it is recommended to play them in order. Upheava has been posting on Reddit with answers to various questions, so if you're interested in this, have any questions, you're really curious about it, go check it out. Changing gears here a little bit, if you think that shipping companies care about your product as much as you do, you may want to think again. Now, I have had my share of issues with shipping companies in the past. My most notorious thing that has happened to me is I ordered computer hardware for 2 brand new PCs that I was building. Well, when I got the package in the mail, or one of the packages in the mail, the box looked like it had been run over. It had been, barely sealed. There's no packing material left inside. Checked the inventory. I had a hard drive missing. I had a copy of Windows XP at that time missing. And just things were just in disarray. And I had to go through, get hold of the shipping company. I drove actually down to their office. And surprisingly enough, their actual regional supervisor was there. I had to, file a claim with them, filed a claim with the company that I ordered the hardware through. Thankfully, it turned, I was able to get my parts reshipped at no cost, but it literally looked like Jim Carrey's character Ace Ventura had handled it at the beginning of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. It was a nightmare. Evidently, shipping companies really while they don't intentionally damage your package, they also do not make a conscious effort to be that careful with them either. I'm going to post a thing on the website about this. It shows a guy who ordered a $5,000 camera lens via Amazon and chose the same-day delivery option. Well, he has a security system set up at his house, and it shows the guy walking up to his front door and just throwing the package onto his front porch. While the box did not indicate anything that it was fragile, this just goes to show you that they're trying to just get done as soon as possible. They don't care what's in the box. They just want to get it offloaded, get to the next thing so they can get done. And I just think that's kind of irresponsible, but that's just me. I would be a little furious if I had a $5,000 camera lens get thrown on my porch. Thankfully, he says that nothing was damaged or can't see anything that was damaged as of this moment, but I think it's a good a good eye-opener to show you that those people who are supposed to be taking care of your package when it's en route from its destination to you, or from the place it's being shipped from to you, aren't really concerned about what's there. And the reason why I bring this up is because we had a listener, John, who recently went through something similar. He ordered a 3D printer, and somewhere along the lines, be it customs or one of the shipping places, had dropped the machine and did a fair amount of damage to it. So be aware that even if the box looks like it's in really good condition, you want to inspect the products. If there's an issue with the hardware or whatever the thing is that you're ordering, any problems, get hold of the shipping company, get hold of the vendor, file insurance claims on it, because sometimes when these machines cost anywhere from a few $100 to a couple $1,000, and if it arrives damaged, you don't want to be out money. Take photos. That's why unboxing videos are actually pretty nice, because you can say, hey, here's the package. You can kind of do an on-screen inspection of it, and then open it up, pull the pieces out. That way it's all documented, and if there is a problem, you could use that as evidence. So here this past Wednesday, founding cartoonist of Mad Magazine, Jack Davis, passed away at the age of 91. Jack was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1924 and served 3 years in the Navy before getting his big break as an artist illustrating a training manual for Coca-Cola. In the 1950s, he began working as a freelance artist for EC Comics, drawing horror comic books such as Tales from the Crypt, Two-Fisted Tales, and The Vault of Horror. Davis's biggest contribution at EC's horror stable was his redesign of the infamous Crypt Keeper, from a simplistic style to the craggy, hairy, barefooted version of the character that we know today. Davis was a highly regarded member of the industry, and in 1996 he received the National Cartoonist Society's Milton Caniff Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2000, he won the Society's Reuben Award. In 2003, Davis was inducted into the Will Eisner Hall of Fame and was inducted into the Society of Illustrators Hall of Fame in 2005. Davis is survived by his wife Dina, a daughter, and a son. He was a great artist. I really enjoyed his work, and he will be missed. If you like what we do and you want to help, you can go out to our website and click on one of the social icon buttons in the upper right-hand corner and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe on SoundCloud and YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, today marked episode 17's release. We're still on an every other day release schedule, and we'll be until we're caught up. We're about 2/3 of the way through the month of August when this episode will go live on YouTube. But we're catching up. I would expect by September we'll probably be all caught up and to a regular weekly release to match everything else. If you're feeling a little generous, you can go out to our Patreon page, become a patron. Minimum is $1. We do offer a $5 a month subscription, and that gets you the print of the month. This month is running out. Today's the 30th, so if you are not subscribed at this point in time or by the 31st, then you will not qualify for this month's print. This month we're giving away some Super Mario 1-Up mushrooms. Right now they're printed in an orange ABS from Hatchbox, and those should be sent out the first week of August. Next month's print of the month, I will go ahead and reveal here next week. Be sure to sign up before the end of the month to receive those. If you don't want to become a patron and would like to support us in other ways, go out to our website and click on the supplies button in the menu. This will be a link to a bunch of 3D printing supplies that we have listed from Amazon. While we don't get the entire amount, we do get a small portion, about 4% back from that. So it's a few cents on everything that you purchase. The great thing is you still go through Amazon for those items, so you're not losing out on that. You're not losing out on your free Prime shipping or any of the security and safety features they have to protect you. So if you want to purchase any 3D printing supplies, go to our website, use those links. We appreciate all of that. Besides that, one last thing I do want to cover. I have been playing... we've been talking a lot lately about Dead by Daylight, and I have actually been watching a Twitch streamer, Angry Pug, here for the last about a week. And he's a very entertaining guy. He's got just shy of 2,000 subscribers. He's got about 112,000 followers right now. And if you are interested in the game, want to see somebody that is a pretty funny and very entertaining individual, go check him out. We'll go ahead and link to his Twitch stream right off our website in the blog. I have, here the last few days, been really taking some time to play Dead by Daylight. They've released the Survive with Friends mode, and my wife, myself, and a couple of guys from work have been getting together and playing that. It's been going really, really well. We've had a blast. Here last night, I actually managed to get into a game, and I decided I would try and play as the killer for the first time, and I had a great game. I managed to not let anybody escape. It was fun. I don't know if I like Killer as much as I do Survivor, but definitely the gameplay is different for both. I only am up to level 5 or 6 with my Jake. My Killer, I haven't... I think maybe he's level 2 now, because I got a couple of little perks with him. But it's fun. If anybody's looking at picking it up, go out to Steam, look up Dead by Daylight, check it out, download it, and if you want to play, just fire me a message through the website, and I'll give you my Steam ID, and we will get together. Besides that, I am Joe, and remember, if you can imagine it, you can print it.